Today we have the privilege of interviewing the leading actor, the star of Ray Comfort's brand new movie, Audacity, Love Can't Stay Silent, Travis Owens. Hey Travis, good morning.
Hey Eric, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. You did an amazing job in Ray Comfort's brand new movie, Audacity, but you're no amateur when it comes to acting. You actually are a stand-up comedian, right?
Yeah, I do stand up mainly, and ain't you sweet for the compliment there to open it up.
Nice. Yeah. How did you get into comedy? How did you get into stand up and stuff like that?
I got tired of talking to actors about acting all the time.
Done with this. Let me just go have some fun, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got into it. I guess I did it as a face your fears kind of thing in Dallas before I moved. I've been here for about 6 years now in LA. And after I did that, I felt good about my first time. And I had such low standards of what good is on your first time in stand-up comedy. So I did that. Turned out better than I thought. Came out here, thought I was ready to just tear up the comedy world.
Oh, yeah.
And so I bombed.
Did you really?
Yeah, bombed the first time at the Comedy Store main stage, prime time. But the comics backstage were really, really nice. They were really nice. They took care of me. They were really, really motivating on getting me up for the second time after that, and just taught me that it's a huge part of the process, which is now what I talk to newer comics about, and it's been a journey.
That's really cool. And the acting part, is that something that you're doing as well? So you're chasing both at the same time, because you did a great job in this film, Audacity.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, I have. I've always had classical training in acting with all kinds of different methods. Back since high school. So I've been consistently chasing this and knowing that it's what I want to do primarily since high school. But I'm pretty well rounded in acting. I think I've been trying to be balanced with what I do and my abilities with it for a long time. So yeah, I am equally kind of doing both, but they springboard into each other really well as far as marketing.
Absolutely. Well, you did a great job here. I want to know your thoughts coming from being there in Hollywood and getting approached about doing a movie like Audacity. Can you tell me that story of how you ended up landing this role?
Well, my manager called and told me just about the audition. At that point, they were really, really in the developmental stages of it. They started casting pretty early because the script went through a lot of changes all throughout the whole process, as it does. I mean, that's not irregular at all. So I had auditioned for it. I kind of knew just a little bit about the part. I think I knew at that point that Peter was a stand-up comic that was pursuing it. So that was a funny little coincidence.
That fits.
And I read for the role. Actually, I went on tape. I went on tape for the first time. So I went on tape at my buddy's house and sent the tape in, and then I got a call for a callback. Not too soon after that, so it was a little delayed on the process of it. But I went in for the second read, and they liked it. They liked some of the. I remember them liking a few of the comedic moments I kind of put into the read. Ray's a joker himself.
Dude, he is. Did you guys get along good on set? What was that like?
He's despite what people outside of this conversation think, Ray is very, very easy to get along with conversationally. He's a real genuine guy. He's very nice. There wasn't a day that went by that he didn't ask me if I got enough food or if I was thirsty or anything like that. He's a really nice guy. He's got his convictions and they're his. We're different, and Ray takes consideration to everybody's differences, which is I think what people need to know.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I wanted to ask you what it was like on set on a movie project that really in all honesty, it doesn't really agree with your own personal convictions. And I realize in acting in Hollywood, you guys have to play a lot of different roles. Was it different this time, or is it just another role, or how do you view that?
Well, the only thing that's different is the preparation. And once I get to the point of being prepared for the role and kind of feeling that character out and making sure that character is exactly what I want to convey, everything is kind of smooth sailing then, because you're just behaving within that character on set. So it wasn't really tough throughout the process, and everybody on set is, like I said, they're real nice, real conversational. Everybody was professional. They hired all kinds of secular people for the cast and crew. So it was a good mixture of people that were on set. But to me, it was, I never like to say just another role, I guess, because it takes so much of you to get into that role and to find your where you have some commonality with that role. But it was interesting.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I got to ask this. Typically, when you hear about a Christian movie being produced, your expectations are not really high. Right. You guys and I know that. Travis, what I want to know is, it seems to me like they went all out on this production, and they did it right. Uh-huh. Tell me about that. Was that kind of a surprise to you? If you knew it was, did you know this was coming from a Christian, producer?
I did know that it was faith-based, that the project was faith-based, and that the ministry was faith-based. I didn't know this.
You just thought your career could handle a shot in the foot like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I grew up religious, so being around devout religious people is not. It's not something that's different to me or that intimidates me. It's just you clean up the language a bit.
Yeah,
that's all.
Sure.
That's the rule. It's a tough one. There was no big deal. It was no big deal to me. So I knew that it was faith based. And to go back to what you're saying about the production value of it, I was surprised because as a person who watches all movies, every genre. And even with people that are in the faith-based genre in the industry, they understand, it's the production value is just, it's not always there. It's most times not, and it's because they don't really stretch outside of themselves. And you got to give Ray some credit for, finding the secular cast and crew and director of photography. One of the director of photography on Audacity is one that I'm working with now for my comedy skits outside of the film. So he did great, and it turned out great. It is a higher quality faith-based film for sure.
If you're just now joining us, we're talking with Travis Owens, the lead actor, the star, if you will, of the Audacity movie. He did an amazing job. If you haven't seen it, you need to check out audacitymovie.com. Travis, I just got to interview Ben Price, comedian from Australia.
Oh, cool.
You guys have a lot in common. You both do impersonations. Mm-hmm. Was that, how much time did you guys get to spend together? Did he learn anything from you? Do you learn anything from him? Or is it just such a quick little throw you together that you don't get a lot of time together?
Well, they do have us running across the thing like rats in a maze on the set, so they kind of like scurry you on every once in a while, especially when you're getting ready to film. But there were a few conversations we had actually in the trailer where we just kind of talk shop on some comedy. I actually have a completely different style than Ben has. Ben's I would consider like a man show with his impersonations and weaves them into a tapestry. I'm pretty conversational. I'm an observationalist. I try my best to find a place to put characters into my bit, characters and voices, things like that. I don't really do too much topical stuff because people have their own opinions on that anyway. So why do you care about me talking to you about it? So I do a lot of. I come from the South and I was raised very religious, so I have plenty of material. Yeah.
I got to know, can you do Ray Comfort yet, or is that one you still got to work on that one?
Me and Ben were working on that one a little bit. Ben's a little better, but do you think you're a good person? Do you think you're a good person? Kinda,
Just that question, that identifies Ray Comfort right there.
right. Yeah.
Let me ask you about the film. What do you hope, as people watch this, what do you hope people get out of the film? What do you hope to take away? What do you hope they feel? What do you hope they go through in this film?
Well, with a religious film, and the person watching it, as far as what I hope that they take away from the film, and this is probably a little selfish, but in the long run, it's a good thing. Is I hope that they take away that the quality of this film will result in more faith-based films being made at higher quality, reaching a larger audience. So that's what I hope that it does with young people that watch the film, with older people that watch the film that are religious or not religious, especially, is that they look at it and they, really want it to run for a while and open up the industry a little bit and open up the demand and almost the requirement for faith-based films.
Very cool. If you're not familiar, by the way, just so you guys know, Audacity is being released kind of in a new trend that's starting to happen with both faith-based and even some secular films. They have been making it available for download for some time now, for about a little over a month, and now here in just a couple weeks, on August 19th, 2015, you're going to get to just go straight to YouTube and watch the movie right on YouTube, absolutely free, which I got to tell you, Travis, is a little bit counterintuitive from the whole, release method of a film when
Right.
people are trying to recoup costs and they're trying to see what they can get back out of it. What do you think what's going to happen with this on YouTube when it goes there?
Well, I think that they're ready for any kind of backlash that's going to happen with the topic of conversation and the fact that it's faith-based. So they're ready for that. But also, I mean, with religion, I don't consider myself religious, but in the Bible, I know that it says a lot about outreach and witnessing and things like that. So it's almost part of the process to just release it as a wide release after you have a screener and a premiere that's going to happen in LA later this month. So it's going through the natural progression of how a movie's released, but the only other aspect is just that it gets released online.
With all your involvement in this, and if you don't already know, the film Audacity, Love Can't Stay Silent does take on the topic of homosexuality. And I'm curious, I've already heard several people mention or talk about how this film is intolerant. You've been involved in this, and I know from talking to Ray, he said, look, the whole point of this is to show that we're not being intolerant. Do you have an opinion on that? Is this kind of an intolerant piece, or is this nowhere close? How do you think Ray did on handling this topic from his convictions?
Yeah, it's a tough conversation. There's a lot involved in an answer, and that's the problem. It's not cut and dried, because a person that is gay, and I have multiple family members that are gay. I have my best friend's gay, and all kinds of people in my life are gay. So and I'm going to talk from their side, and then I'm going to talk from the Christian side, because that's the only way you can answer this question. Everybody gets so mad. Everybody gets so mad at the question. So with gay people, I understand in my mind and observing that the reason that they're offended, which doesn't get spoken about too much, and the reason why people just keep going around in circles is because they're not introducing the fact that someone religious coming to them and telling them about sexuality is very, very ridiculous in a way, because of the suppression of sexuality within religion, within American religion, and most religions in general. So that's where they kind of get lost in the conversation. And then the Christian side of it is, there are some religions that what am I looking for? There are some denominations. Sorry, there are some denominations that are very strict on witnessing and sharing your testimony and going out and talking to people about how God's changed you and what God's telling you to do. So with that being considered, you have to say something. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, the tag of the movie is love can't stay silent. So both sides are going to keep going in a circle forever, no matter what movie gets released, because they're two very, very strong opinions, and you know, it's just a long-winded conversation, and it just goes around and around and around.
And we have had those conversations with friends, I'm sure. I know I have as well. I've got family members who are gay, and you're right, those conversations do seem to continue going around. One more question for you, Travis. 10 years from now, how are you going to look back on your part in Audacity 10 years from now?
It's a fun experience. It was just another step on me being a well-rounded actor that took a role that people had no idea why I did it, and some people knew why I did it, and you know, it's no consideration of my personal thoughts on the subject at all, and because of that is the reason why I took the role, because it was just so opposite of me, and it was just a challenge. It was a challenge for me to do the movie justice, to do the part justice, and to, you know, prepare in a way that I brought some truth to that character, and you know, hopefully that stays the same for 10 years down the road.
10 more years down the road. Well, Travis, as a Christian, I just want to say thank you for being part of something that when I watched it, I felt like it was the best piece I had ever seen for the Christian community to try to communicate in love a message that they feel incredibly burdened to communicate. And it's almost, I know we get labeled intolerant, and we get labeled bigots, and we get labeled all kinds of stuff. And our goal obviously is not that. Our goal as Christians is to just simply say, hey, just so you know, here's what our authority says. So from that perspective, I think Audacity did a fantastic job, and I'm just so thankful that you got a chance to be a part of it, and that you did it so well and had that high level of excellence in your performance.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It does mean a lot. It does mean a lot, especially coming from Christians. It means a ton. You know, my friends and family, they've seen me act for years, so they know what they were prepared for. But I hope that, you know, it's okay to always open conversation. It's okay to talk to people about things. It's okay to ask questions about things. It's, you know, and that's the healthy side of it is religious people being able to ask gay people questions, and for gay people to ask religious people questions, and to open up the conversation, and to get out of this realm of, you know, if you don't understand something and you ask a question about it, you're not a horrible person. And if, you know, and religious people that are coming to gay people, they can open up and not, you know, disarm a little bit from that anger that they felt for so long, because of, you know, it's just now starting to be a world where gay people aren't, you know, sent to the back of the bus and you know, have this weird kind of new age kind of segregation. You know, it's not the same at all, but it's relative, you know. So
and opening up that conversation, I think, is incredibly valuable. And I guess one lesson I think our whole world needs to know is, you know, just because you disagree with somebody doesn't mean that we throw out the intolerance card. You know,
right.
It seems like if you disagree with my opinion, you are intolerant, and that's. We are all going to disagree on a lot of different things. The question is, can we talk about it? Can we communicate about it? And that, I think, is showing the tolerant side is, hey, let's open up and ask those good questions, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's a, like I said, it's a cyclical conversation now. You know, but we're just warming up to be able to, you know, for Christians to be able to have the facts that they need to have the conversation, and for gay people to be, you know, disarmed enough to be able to kind of listen and to understand, you know, where a religious person's coming from a certain area that doesn't have gay people, or a certain area where, you know, it's like I grew up in a town that I barely had any gay people and barely had any black people. It's a weird. There's weird pockets of the world still, and people don't believe that they exist, but they exist, and it's strange when you get to places that are overwhelming in your life, and you just go, man, this is crazy, because I had never seen this, or I had never interacted with this, group of people, and you learn a lot, and that's what life's about: experiencing and learning and being able to communicate it and talk about it and embrace your differences and grow.
Well, it was amazing to see a bunch of people with a bunch of different, with a bunch of differences, a bunch of different opinions come together to put together a film like Audacity. If you haven't checked it out, you need to go check it out. It's available at audacitymovie.com and coming free to YouTube on August 19th. You can look up Audacity Movie. Travis, thanks for hanging out with me this morning. And again, thanks for doing a great job in this part. We certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.